Thank you, everyone. Now, hopefully, you all have had a chance to review the minutes of the meeting in 2020. It was sent out quite a while ago, but hopefully you reviewed it when it's sent out. So what we're doing now is we're going to approve the minutes of the last meeting. So once again, there are 4 answers here. Okay. I'm launching the polling. We're voting on the minutes of the last meeting.
Elaine, it looks like you can't submit it unless you answer every question. So you have to abstain from member 2, member 3, member 4, or the
No, there's a no second person, no first proxy, no second proxy answer.
All right. So you got to answer all of them or you don't get the submit button. Thanks, Warren.
Correct.
I'm confused. Just by answering the first yes, we can't submit it. But if we, what are we supposed to do?
Go to number 2 and say no second person for you because you're alone. And then go to the number 3 and say no proxy, and number 4 and say no proxy. Then you'll get the submit button.
Wait, there's only one.
Black line of width.
Yeah.
There's a narrow scroll bar on the right-hand side to get you
Oh,
to
there it
3 and
is.
4.
Okay.
I just use my mouse.
There. Okay.
If you have any questions about the polling, be sure and just shout it out. You have to unmute first, of course, but you have the power to do that. Okay, is everyone voted? If anyone's not, give me a holler. Okay, I'm going to end the polling. And I'm going to share the results. So the minutes of the last meeting are hereby approved. Okay, our next thing is election to the Board of Trustees. This is all of the 3 members who are up for election at one time. And remember, you have to answer all 4 questions. You may have to scroll down.
Be careful that the yes and no buttons are in a different order for person 2 than they are for person 1. So don't just automatically click the first button.
Oh, I screwed up. Sorry about that.
Should we redo? I didn't notice that. Good point, Ray.
We're at 2 minutes. Everyone okay? Okay, that's the poll results. Now we have the elections to the nominating committee. Okay, we're over 2 minutes. I'm going to go ahead and end the polling and sharing the results. Okay, we have election to the endowment committee coming up next.
Elaine, it's Heather. I just wanted to ask you, could you, each time you share the poll results, could you briefly summarize as well? Because if we're gonna have any value from this recording, it needs to say what was just approved or not approved.
Oh,
Since the polling, the show, I can see it on my second monitor, I can see the polling results shared, but that doesn't appear in what's getting recorded on the video.
oh, okay.
So far, everything's been approved as suggested, right?
Right.
Okay.
Next, we're going to go to the next question, which is election to the endowment committee. Peter Eldridge is up for the endowment committee, and I'm going to launch the polling. Okay, we're at 2 minutes. I'm going to end the polling. And I'm going to share results. Okay, we have 37 yeses of the single members and 1 abstain. Of the connections with 2 members, we have 17 connections, so that would be doubled. And we have 2 yeses. Okay, the proxies are, if you don't have a proxy, don't put yes and no on the proxy forms, because this is confusing. Because they don't think we have 4 proxies. So the proxy results are going to be extremely confusing. So,
Elaine, is it true that there will be a doubling of the counts of member 2?
right. Yes. Yes. Because those are the connections that have 2 people present on the same connection. And Marianne is keeping count of this, I believe. Marianne, are you trying to get these results?
Yep, I am.
Okay, good. So you can just email Jerry and me when at the end of this.
Nope.
Thank you. Okay, I'm going to stop sharing.
Excuse me, Elaine, the
Yeah.
Board of Trustees is 2 years, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, our next poll, okay, has to do with the budget. So what I want you to know is that before we get into, Russ will be going over the budget with you, but if we have leftover money this year, and we probably will have, and according to our financial policy and our past practice, we will putting that money, any leftover money from this year's operating budget, into the unanticipated needs liability account. Once again, surplus money from this year's budget will be transferred to the unanticipated needs liability account. Okay, I'm stopping the share. And before we have this poll, Russ, you want to go over the budget, and Heather, you want to put it up for Russ?
Okay, can everybody hear me okay? I hope. Yeah, okay. This is Russ Erickson, and yeah, I have just a few things to kind of point out in the budget. The first thing is on the top line, which is blocked right now on my screen. I can't see it. There it is, where it says income for pledges for the current year. We ended up at $226,296 for our pledge campaign this year. That's a fine number. And then if you go down to the bottom where it says total income on that same income section, total income, there it is. And mine is blocked by a black bar. I can't see it. Anyway, that number, I hope you guys can see it because I cannot see it. It is 267,496. Now,
Hang on, hold on one sec, Russ. It's Heather. My meeting controls are blocking. This isn't usually a problem. Let me just wait 1 second and let me move this over to a different screen, if it'll let me. Here we go. All right, 1 second.
Remove a screen.
It should be looking better now.
Yeah, that'll work.
Hold on, let me stop it and restart it. Okay, now I think you won't have that problem of my my meeting controls going over the top of what you're trying to talk about.
Okay, well, I will continue. So, so the number where it says total income, that 267,496, if you scroll down to the end of the last page, Heather, you will all see that that is also the same as the amount of money that we have in the total budget under total expenses. So we do have a balanced budget. So that's the first thing. And now if we can go back up to the income side, I will go through some of the changes that we had quickly as I can here. Yeah, so on item
Great.
number,
I'm sorry. I'm not muted. Sorry.
are we okay? Okay. So if you notice footnote 1, it shows that we have a $1,500 donation that we've received this year. This is the second year that we've had a $10,000 donation, and so that is there. Second thing is under the minister where it says salary plus housing, Patty is getting a 2% raise. That's what footnote number 2 is designating, so you know that. And let's see, then we can go down to sabbatical expense a little bit further down. Yeah, right there. There he is. Sabbatical expenses under the minister's expenses, and that amount is $5,119. What we need to do is we need to make sure that we can pay for 4 months of sabbatical leave within 4 years of Patty being here. So we're on our way to getting that done with this budget as well. Then under administration other, we have the office administrator's compensation there, 18,522. What happened with the administration with the, it got a $1 per hour raise instead of the 2% that we had originally given. We had more money, so we changed the 2% increase to a $1 per hour increase. So that number went up a bit for the office administrator. And then if we go down to media consultant at the bottom of this page, this is a new item this year, and this is for media work that Heather is doing in areas outside primarily of the Sunday services. So my footnote on that is not correct in my original budget because this is for work outside of the Sunday service. But that's an estimated amount that we didn't really know how much we would need for this year, but we put 2,000 there. Then on page 2, up toward the top of page 2, you'll see the UUA and PSWD dues. Notice the number is quite a bit smaller than last year. It's only 10,628. And that is because the UUA contacted us and they allowed us to take a 75% of our regular dues for this year. And this is because we are a fair share congregation and we've been members for over 20 years. And so we are allowed to keep our status. And for this particular year, dropped to a 75% on the payment. So that's why that number is less. Then down to the mortgage principal, footnote number 9. Will, you can we can look at the other footnotes as well. I'm kind of doing the ones that I think are most, whoops. We need to go back up. Can I go back up? No, I need to go back up to page 2, Heather. Thank you, right there. Okay, yeah. So the mortgage principal is $8,304, and you see the interest listed under there as well. That footnote explains the fact that all of our mortgage money, the principal and the interest, are all coming out of our operating budget this year. Last year, we borrowed some money from a liability account called Mortgage Subsidy Fund to pay for the interest, and we're not doing that this year. So that reserve account will be untouched this year, which is a good thing. Then down to janitorial services, you see further down under buildings and grounds. We raised that figure a little bit from the last budget that we had. because we are needing a little bit more. The rates are probably going to go up for our cleaning this year. Instead of $75 an hour, I think we're paying $85 an hour for cleaning this year. So I upped that amount a bit. And this figure is based on opening up September 1st. So that explains why it's a bit lower still than last year. Because when we put the budget together for many of these kind of standard items, we just decided we would assume we would have 3/4 of a regular year, which would be from September to June. So that's that figure. Then on page 3.
Hey, Russ,
Yeah.
can you go right above building and grounds for communications? What is footnote 12 with marketing?
Yeah, you can read the footnote there. Yeah, it's just no longer that we're doing Facebook.
Thank you.
Yep. Thank you, Heather. And then on page 3, we have the faith development coordinator up the top there. And that footnote is again saying it's a $1 per hour raise instead of the 2% raise, because the $1 per hour is more. So there was a little boost in salary there. And the same thing applied to music director, footnote 17 down lower, a $1 per hour increase in their wage instead of the 2% that we had talked about originally. Then down to social justice coordinator at the bottom of this page, a little further. Yeah, right there. This amount is based on a faith development director that will be working at $16 an hour. We didn't put any increase there because we don't know who the person is yet. So 16 hours is kind of, $16 an hour is sort of our base entry for new hire people. They'll be working for 15 hours a week for the 52 months. So that is a little bit less than last year. Last year, we funded this position at 20 hours per week. This year, we decided to fund it at 15 hours per week. So that's what the $12,480 is. And to the last page, I really have nothing more to say other than to come back to the fact that the total expenses are the same as the total income we have. And then I guess we could kind of scroll up so people can see the footnotes. I've explained, I think, all of them that are sort of important. You see $1 per hour for 17 that I was just talking about, and sabbatical time and all the rest of that. So I would take questions from anyone that has them at this point and try to answer them for you. So let me know if you have a question.
All good.
I'm not seeing any questions. Anybody got a question for me? Okay. Well, I would like to say this has been a pretty easy year to do a budget because we managed to do all the things we needed without really cutting staff, which has always been a difficulty in the past. We come up short of money, and the only way we can usually find enough is to cut some, current staff members' hours, and we didn't have to do that this year, so that's good. Any questions?
Russ, this is BJ. My question is, in the past, I know that I signed up for Fry's, but I don't remember signing up for Amazon to get money. Do you have to reinstate that every single year? And could we put something in the newsletter about what you have to do?
You were kind of breaking up there.
It's under corporate in the budget that money comes in if we sign up with the Amazon and Fry's.
Yeah, that's correct. That's correct.
This is Heather. It sounds like BJ's suggesting we just need to do some periodic reminders.
Oh, okay.
To folks about make sure you're signed up for Fry's with Granite Peak selected. Make sure you use Amazon Smile. It's not just a matter of signing up, but remembering to use it as well when you do your Amazon purchases. So, and have Granite Peak selected as your charity in there.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, BJ.
Yeah, I'll try and remember to put some reminders in the newsletter, BJ.
Russ, this is Bobby. I'd just like to thank you and whoever and everyone else who worked on this to make this format that you presented to us so easy to understand, because it's a complex budget, and it's really been helpful to all of us to be able to help approve this budget. Thank you.
That's good news. Thank you.
Okay, if there are no questions, I will launch the poll on approval of the budget.
No second member, or you are a second member. I think everybody's.
Oh.
Oh, no, that's right. It's not doubled. Okay, we're at 2 minutes. I'm going to end the polling and share the results. We have member 1, we have 36. Member 2 is not doubled. I am sorry that I said that. I was mistaken. So there was 20. No, I'm sorry, 15 second members said yes. 1 said no. On the proxies, there are proxy 1 is 2 yeses and 1 no. And proxy 2 is 2 yeses and 1 no. If the people who voted no would please send me an email or give me a call on why they voted no, because that's really important for us to know how each member feels. I'm going to stop sharing the results. And of course, the budget is passed for this next year. I think that is all the business we had to do today. Does anyone have anything? Whoops. Marianne, do you have a comment? Oh, you're muted? Oh, I can't hear you. Marianne, I can't hear you for some reason.
She's saying you skipped the endowment report.
Oh, I certainly did. So we will, right, we didn't get, I must have skipped it last time too. No, it's right between the budget. Oh, okay. Wasn't following my agenda. I apologize. Endowment committee. Marianne?
No, we can't hear you.
I can't hear Marianne, but I can hear you fine.
I'm going to walk over to Marianne and let her talk through my iPad.
Okay.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so I changed so the endowment committee is myself as the chair, Fred Fort, Randy Phillips, Udell Stuckey as members, and of course we have a new member now. I will rotate off at the end of the month, and Peter Eldridge will rotate on. As of March 31st, the endowment fund had $214,223. That was up from $149,159 in 2019. So the increase is due to contributions from members, as well as increases in the value of the fund. So you all remember that in March of 2020, the fund dropped like a rock because the whole market went down, but it's recovered nicely and we're doing well. If you have included the congregation in your estate planning, or if you're interested in considering that option, please contact a member of the committee and we'll help you figure out how to do that. That will make you a member of the John A. Gurley Society. That's our endowment fund society. We have 30 members currently, and these are people who have either contributed to the endowment fund or have notified us that the congregation is included in their estate plan. In 2020, 2021, the committee didn't do a lot, but we did work with the Adult Faith Development Committee to present the 5 Wishes workshop last fall. That's the end of my report. Thank you.
Rhea, there you are. I skipped your report as well. Do you have anything you want to add?
No, Elaine, excuse me. You mentioned all the nominees that I was able to invite to be on the board and committees, so I have nothing further. All the nominations were mentioned, and thank you.
I'd like to make a point of information for new people in that the endowment committee, 1 or 2 others, I think the nominating committee, they report to the congregation directly in our bylaws, where most groups and committees are underneath the board. And that's why endowment does an annual report to the during the annual meeting directly.
Well, I want to thank both the nominating committee and the endowment committee for their work this year on behalf of the board. I think that is all the business. If I've skipped anything else, please speak now. Okay. Have a wonderful, wonderful Sunday, everyone. And thank you much for coming to the annual meeting. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much.